In the context of product development, what if there was a way to get rid of any part of any system or any step in any process? Well, you can. That's exactly what today's video tutorial is about. It's an inventive thinking tool called the trimming technique, and it's one of my favorites because it's one of the most versatile tools in the innovation toolbox. Welcome to innovationtutorials.com, where we introduce several tools, techniques, and best practices around innovation and inventive thinking in 5 minutes or less. In this video, we'll introduce 5 great reasons to continually try to simplify your offerings by eliminating parts of the system or steps in your process. We'll introduce 2 or 3 of the 6 total trimming strategies that can be used to help do what others think is impossible. We'll show you a couple examples to illustrate these strategies. I'll introduce an app that can be used to make the trimming technique even easier. These videos are very short, so let's get started. So let's start with 5 very logical reasons to trim elements of your system. Number 1 is to reduce costs. Number 2 is to get rid of a problematic part or step. Number 3 is to reduce the system or process complexity. Number 4 is circumvent a patent. And number 5 is to find or create a whole new market. Okay, let's take a hypothetical situation for trimming a part on a projector. The first step is to understand the system elements and functions. The next thing we do with each of those components is identify their function. The bracket holds the motor and the power supply. The power supply powers the motor. The motor rotates the fan. The fan cools the bulb. The outer case protects 3 components. And the bulb projects light. We also want to identify any harmful functions, like the motor vibrating the bulb, and it also generates noise. The fan also generates noise. And the humidity corrodes the bracket. So this is a function model, and let's target something for trimming. If I were to ask this team, could you trim the fan? They're probably going to say no, because it has a job. Well, the truth of the matter is you can trim any part of any system. So let's see if we can figure out how to trim the fan. Now, there are 6 trimming rules that were derived from analyzing thousands of patents and products that have been simplified. So let's take a look at a couple of the rules in the context of getting rid of a fan on a projector. Rule number 1 says the function can be performed or delivered by other elements of the system or supersystem. So we have a fan that's cooling a bulb. So basically what that's saying is, yes, you can get rid of the fan if you can get one of the other elements of the system or its surrounding to do the cooling job. So what we do now is we'd look at this list of 7 things and we'd brainstorm around how can I get one of those things to do a cooling job, because if I could, I can get rid of the fan. If you could get the bracket to be a heat sink, you could pull heat away from the bulb and maybe get rid of the fan. Now, if rule number 1 doesn't work, let's take a look at rule number 2. Rule number 2 says the recipient or object of the function can deliver the function itself. So basically what rule number 2 is saying is, yes, you can get rid of the fan if you can somehow get the bulb to cool itself. Rule number 3 says the recipient of the function does not need to exist. So basically what that is saying is, yes, you can get rid of the fan if you get rid of the bulb. And think about it. If I can get rid of the bulb on this projector, I don't need the fan. So that would absolutely work. But then what you have is a new problem statement. You reformulated the problem. Now the new problem statement is, how do I project light without a bulb? And then I would brainstorm around that. And there's lots of different ways to project light without a bulb. And by the way, a lot of modern projectors these days don't use bulbs. They use LEDs, diodes. One last thing I said I'd show super quick is our trimming app. First, it asks you to click if you're working on a product or process. There are different trimming rules for processes. Next, you'll describe the function of the part or process you're trying to trim. We'll use fan cools bulb. Click next. It tells you your specific trimming goal. And then it takes you through a series of automatically generated hypothetical concepts and questions derived and formulated from the corresponding trimming rules. And it also gives you a place to record your ideas. Very cool. So we've quickly run out of time. Scratch the surface of trimming. Hope you have a better idea for it. If you've enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to see our other and future videos. Thanks for watching. See the video description below for additional links, other videos, and a way to contact me personally with any questions. Have a great week and hope to see you on the next video.